bẹ́ẹ̀ orí síríìsì lẹ́fì máa wò ó ìyẹn dàgbéléwò nìyẹn Podium International Podium Cinema ẹ fọ́lọ̀ wọn kẹ́ ẹ láìkì wọn lórí YouTube wọ́n wà lórí Facebook wọ́n wà lórí Instagram Podium Cinema ó ti dọbẹ̀ ẹ subscribe.
Good evening and welcome to today's program. I remain your host, Mr. Kayode Emola. Today we're going to be looking at a lot of things that has been happening with regards the Naira redesign. Is it a success? Is it a failure? You would help me decide. However, the picture speaks for themselves. So we're going to be playing a lot of pictures. My co-host today, Baba Jala, he's not here yet, but hopefully he will be joining us soon. We've also got our guests on joining us for today's program. He may be coming on at a later time. Mr. Benga Adewale, Comrade Irapada. So we'll be looking at the Naira redesign. And particularly, I want us to also focus on Yoruba Nation. What does the Naira redesign mean for Yoruba Nation? Are we shortchanging ourselves? Are we shooting ourselves on the foot? Why can't we as Yoruba Nation have our own currency where we don't depend on the Naira? So there was a program we did last year where we said places can have their own currency. Like Bristol, we have the Bristolian pound, which is different completely from the British pound. And that Bristolian pound is printed in Bristol and they spend it in Bristol. That's within the United Kingdom. We also have the Northern Irish pound, which is spent in Northern Ireland, which is different from the general British pound. That it's still the same value, the same currency and everything, but that's what you spend. And in Scotland, we also have the Scottish pound. So they have their own different currency that's the hard printed paper version. So what you go to collect in the ATM. So it's Yoruba. I would not say we are ripe. We are overripe for having our own currency. We are overripe for having our own diplomat. We are overripe for having our own government. But what is stopping us? Why are we blocking and closing our eyes? And then I see a lot of our elders, they say they want to die with one Nigeria. I'll just start with this video from the civil society protesting. Is it still time for protest? But before I go there, there was a video I played last week and somebody called me after the program to say, it wasn't last week, it was last 2 weeks, to say, I'm going to replay the video now so that we understand. It's about a woman who, so the report was that she's suffering, well, not suffering, she was dipping her bread in water. But somebody said it's not that she was feeding a maybe ritual something or whatever. I don't know what it is, but I'll play the video so that people can watch it and see. So then we come back to our main topic. So we can see that water is not clean first, but some people believe it might be ritual. Some people believe she might be feeding some creature in the water. So I mean, at this point, I don't know. It's not verified, so I can't tell you this is what happened. But let me play the video of the civil society. That so what happened is they've gone to different banks to protest the non-availability of the new Naira note.
You can never have scarcity of Naira note. Yes. What is Naira? Naira note. So we make them benefit to Nigeria. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Look at us in the bank waiting to collect money. Exactly. Yes, like you don't do like this, they won't know how it is.
Yeah, so they've gone to Wema Bank, they're going to UBA, and they're going to all the headquarters of the banks, and Nigerians have suffered enough. Anyway, we have Baba Jala in the house. I'm just going to bring Baba Jala online. Baba Jala, welcome to today's program. For some reasons, I can't get you. I don't know whether your network is having some issues, but as soon as I can get a clear signal, I will bring Baba Jala live to us. So it's only if we don't understand what the problem really is or what the solution is. I know we can't say it enough. We will continue to say it from the rooftop. We will continue to sing it. We will continue to shout it until our people understand that except we take our destiny in our own hands as Yoruba people, we will continue to suffer things like this. It didn't just start today. Because they want to change currency during the Biafran War, they changed it from pounds to Naira. Independence, we've got our independence. Yes, no more pounds, no more pounds. We've got Naira. And then around the 1970s, we started spending Naira. Our Naira was even higher than the British pound. And before you knew it, the 70s went, and then the 80s came, the era of the Buharis. And they came, and then they started this double they started this double exchange. They call it parallel market, but some people call it black market. So whichever name you know it, but it's a double exchange, parallel. So what that does is they bring in one exchange. What you can get from the banks are different, and what you can get in the main street, on the street, is different. So some people call it black market. Some people may say Oluwole, which is like Oluwole. Well, let me not go to Oluwole because that's like counterfeit, but parallel market and main market. But that's not the problem. Now, old notes are still being spent in the north, but we in the south, we still continue to deceive ourselves that we have. I think I can see Baba Jala. So let me just bring Baba Jala online. Good
Thank
evening.
you. Thank you. Thank you for having me in this evening.
Yeah.
Sorry, there were some interruptions from other calls, so I had to cut them off.
Yeah, I noticed that you've been tied up. Now we see the chaos that is going on in Nigeria now with regards the currency. So somebody woke up one day and decided that the money in your hand is no longer useful. Is it a planned work to diminish the Yoruba? This to me, this looks like the lowest form of debasing people. The queen is died, and officially you cannot have the face of a dead monarch on your currency. But the United Kingdom have said the currency will continue to be legal tender even up till 2025. 3 years after they've even
Yes.
Now, why is Nigeria in a hurry just to punish their own?
I'm beginning to think that she never.
You see, like any currency changes, even before the queen died, several times the currency were changed, and they were phased out until you don't find the old type of presentation on the currency. It's phased out. You cannot deny people what they have. You give them enough time to use up the currency, and if they cannot use it, they take it to the bank to exchange for new ones or deposit into. That's what happens, and that was what happened earlier, many years in Nigeria. People are allowed to change their money, and then it phased out gradually. But now we don't have a country that has a policy stand vis-a-vis taking care of the people. We don't have a country that recognizes the existence of the followers. They only see them as existing when an election comes. And unfortunately, the followers are also not very astute or wise enough to know that this is the time to call time for these politicians. If we don't follow them, they don't have power.
Exactly.
It's the followership that creates power for them. It's the followership that allows them to command some group of people to do their wish.
Their bidding.
And wish and wishes and every other thing that is despicable to a growing society. Nigeria and many other countries are not growing societies. You have maybe the capital cities beautifully made up, with all the rich men living in prison yard called palaces. You see, it's everything happening. It's a picture of the decadence of the leadership in Africa. We don't have leaders, and we don't even have proper.
I'm going to play this video, Baba Jala. Let's see.
Okay.
It's very frustrating. Well, let me play this video. Let's watch it and see somebody who is taking her money.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20,000. Láti aago mẹ́jọ tí mo ti lọ tó sí báńkì. Ogun máa jànú lù. Mo kó gbogbo owó tí mo ní nílé, mo kó lọ sí bank pé mo fẹ́ gba owó tuntun láti 5 days. gbogbo owó tá fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ àtowó àjọ tá a gbà àtowó olówó tí mo gbà tó jẹ́ pé old money tí mo ní òkè o ká kó lọ sí báǹkì ká gba owó tuntun jáde láti aago 8 tí mo ti lọ tó sí báǹkì 20,000 ni mo rí gbà. Mo ti wọ́ọ̀nù wọn nú láwọn ògbọ̀n báǹkì mi mo ń lo báǹkì 5 ibì kan ṣoṣo ni mo dé tí mo ti rí gbà gbogbo báǹkì mi pátápátá wọn kówó síbẹ̀ ẹnu ìkànnà kówó sí oyin kan níbo lórúkọ báǹkì tí mo ti gbowó yìí mo ti gbàgbé Eco Bank nìkan mo ti rí 20,000 gbà ogun máa jà nílùú yìí tá bá continue báyìí owó olówó tí mo lọ kó sí báǹkì tó lówó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní máa sùn mí lówó tó máa fẹ́ gba owó wọn ẹlòmíì lóhùn ti gba transfer káàṣì tí mo gbà lọ́wọ́ ni òun fẹ́ gbà wàhálà máa ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ìlú yìí tí wọn bá tètè kán wá nǹkan ṣe sí èyí tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí ebi gidi náà fẹ́ dápa wá yìí o tí wọn bá tètè dẹ́kun nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ wàhálà gidi máa ṣẹlẹ̀.
Is this not a deliberate attempt to war? Is this not a deliberate attempt to war? Like, because I don't know how else the Fulani will say it before the Yoruba understand that the game is up. They locked the border so that we can't bring food. We were still able to survive. And now they say, okay, if we take, because I feel for this woman, we are looking at the psychological part of not even having the money. Now she's selling her wares. If people don't have money to withdraw from the bank, then they can't buy goods, and then it stores productivity in the economy. So is it a deliberate attempt to say Buhari is finishing his tenure? There's nothing easy to cause trouble or war in the country. Let's take what everybody uses, which is money, and blow it up and let Nigeria.
Unfortunately, if I may interrupt you, it's not everybody, it is the South that is targeted. Because this money is readily available in the North.
Yeah.
And even in the hands of the people who are exchanging money, millions of it has been distributed amongst them. So we are in the South trying to protect the existence of Nigeria.
Should we just go ahead and start printing our own Yoruba currency and start spending it?
No, it is not going to be. It's going to be counterproductive because, as at the time, we don't have a sovereignty to cover that money. It's not going to be recognized internationally. That same thing happened to Somaliland. Hold on. It happened to Somaliland. And the currency was only valid within their own economy, and it did not bring any development. So I was
going to say something there. I was going to say something there because we have decentralized currencies. Bitcoin started from being decentralized, and today a lot of people use it and recognize it as currency. No nation owns it. Yeah. So we can have a decentralized currency in Yoruba land and begin to spend. Currency is whatever you agree to spend exchange for goods and services.
But it's going to be more effective if we have our sovereignty assured.
Of course,
that's the key thing.
To
get our sovereignty is to start now emphatically, like I've always repeated, reaching out to our people at home and also promoting the cause of calling for the dissolution of that country. It's no longer a country that should be supported by the Yorubas from 1906. We have been supporting Nigeria. We have been propping up that country since 1906, particularly the western part of the southern protectorate of Nigeria, the Yoruba land. We contributed a lot more than any other part to holding up Nigeria.
I'll take you on when you said even the North has this currency. Apparently, it's not only the North, the elites that they were trying to sabotage for one reason or the other, they also have this currency. I'm going to play a video.
This is precisely the new currency wars as it's happening at an ATM by you, close by you. This is what the ordinary Nigerian is going through in an effort to raise the new currencies. But then compare them to the next clip. Now, this is what is happening in another arena, where the new currency is being stuffed around like some pieces of tissue paper. Touched around by who? By non-working Nigerians. While the real working Nigerians, the ones who make this country happen, are struggling to get as little as 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira from the ATMs. The question you ask yourself, where?
So you see the contrast. Some people are having more than enough of the new currency, and some people cannot feed. People are going to die.
And you see, there will be what I would call selective revolution. That's the way, because there cannot be a national revolution. Selective in different areas. The poor ones who are suffering will now start to target all those who are flouting this money. And they will beg for their lives. I'm sorry, I have to say. If a people cannot recognize the suffering of their fellow people, they are digging their own graves. This is a fact of life. It has happened in many countries of the world. This is a fact of life. You remember Romania?
Yeah.
You see how the head of state with all the palaces was dragged out.
Even recently in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Even recently in Sri Lanka, when even the president was looking for a plane to escape the country.
He couldn't get someone to fly.
He couldn't get anybody to fly him. Maybe it will get to that stage, because
maybe it will. It will.
I'm talking in the next few days. I'm not talking of because you can't continue to punish people. You can't continue to punish people. I mean, there was a man who went naked in the bank. We're not going to do that here. There's a man who went naked, and you could see adults boxing each other in banks because they can't find the new currency. Now, coming back
hold on, and I saw some currency that only one side was printed.
Yeah, I was going to come to that. I was going to come to that because the claim was that they got this money from the bank. What is the fear of people now making counterfeit currency when people become so desperate? Because if you, I'll play the video.
I didn't know what it is. You know what to call in Nigeria? What do I don't call I don't call it. Oh, Becky, Nigeria is a rule. Ìjọba orí ti burú orí ti burú ẹ gbà wá o wọ́n ta lọ gbà báàgì láàárọ̀ yìí.
They are saying ta lọ gbà back. To be more serious, Baba Jala. This is my take, and I don't know what anybody cares to say. The Yoruba, we need to come together and put our house together. We need to create our currency. Even right whilst we are still in Nigeria, we can do it. Before you came in, I was giving the issue of Bristolian dollar, Bristolian pound. I lived in Bristol before, and I've seen the Bristolian pound. It's only spent within Bristol. It doesn't go outside. You can't spend it. It has the same value, but it is readily available. If you go to Scotland, the first time I went to Scotland about 10 years ago, and I put in my card in the ATM, I got different type of currency. They are Scottish pounds, different type of people on the notes, and that's the money they spend in their area. It is a legal tender. It is accepted. If you go to Northern Ireland, last year I was in Northern Ireland. They've got, if you go to the ATM, there are completely different currencies that you print out from Northern Ireland. I believe the Yoruba, we can begin to take our destiny in our hands, start printing our own currency to circulate within our Yoruba territory. And that's with that.
I agree with you, but first of all, we have to test the waters about acceptability.
That's why I said
let me tell you something. Those currencies, because I've used them before too, when I was in Scotland for my study of hydroelectric power generation and building. I got with my Lloyds Bank card from the south, from London. I was able to get currencies of different denominations from the ATM in Scotland and in Scottish pounds.
Yeah.
It's Scottish money.
It's Scottish. It's
and
different from the English money.
It's different in terms of presentation, but it's accepted as an equal to the British pound. Exactly. So this is where if we start to create our own, we should be able to move towards a point where there is an acceptance of our currency temporarily with the Naira, but the value will be higher than the Naira.
Yeah,
but that's going to get complicated.
I tell you something. I tell you, we could say it's Yoruba Naira, pending when we then change it to Yoruba, whatever we want to call it. I tell you something. In the north, they spend Sifa, which is the Republic of Benin or Niger Republic or Cameroon. The three countries that border us spend Sifa. So in northern Nigeria, CFA is readily acceptable.
Yeah.
So
they trade across border.
And if you see, some things are bought in dollars. We don't print dollar, we don't control dollar, but even in Nigeria, they open a dollar account for you.
Yeah, or a pound account.
Or a pound sterling account. I have a pound sterling account in my account in Nigeria. So I think we Yoruba,
we should think quickly about that. Yeah, I think we should think quickly about it. And look at the mechanism of how to start doing it.
And start creating our own money so that this sort of rubbish would not happen. And I made mention of the decentralized currencies that's on in the world today.
Yeah.
Nobody owns Bitcoin, but it is readily acceptable. And many platforms that I am on now, the major thing they sell is pounds and Naira or dollar and Naira. Because that is what people accept. So money is what you create. What you say is generally acceptable.
And added value.
Yeah.
And that is where productivity in the
exactly. And we are productive in this is going to start our production.
We can now diversify our activity. But one of the key things that will help us is electricity.
Of course.
You see, we are still coming back to the origin.
The sovereignty. I know, but in my take, I have said, take the currency. If we start producing our currency, because what the Fulani has done is try to kill our economy. Once they've killed our economy, then they can be able to take over our politics. Now, I did mention that with their attitude, it will start causing things to get spoiled. I'm just going to...
Wọ́n ti da géètì wo, wọ́n fọ́ gbogbo gíláàsì mọ́tò ni wọ́n ń lẹ òkó ẹ̀wò wọ́n ti gbé márúwá ṣubú, wọ́n ti bà gbogbo ẹ̀ jẹ́ o, gbogbo ẹ̀ ti dàrú o, ẹ ti rí, gbogbo ẹ̀ ti dàrú.
Yeah, so
báwo àríro owó ìrí o.
Gate now, gate, riot, now. Riot, gate, everybody. Gate, riot, gate. Gate now, riot, gate. Gate, riot. Gate.
Oh, wow, everywhere don't bust.
So you could see that this is starting to cause violence in the country. It's starting to cause violence in the country. In some places, what's it called? Banks are being raided now. And people are saying the banks are not the problem. They say the banks are not the problem. And I am asking, although I will not subscribe to people going to start breaking banks, because they are not, and to be sincere, they are not the problem. The federal government is the problem, coupled with the states that are facilitating them.
Yeah.
Now, in some few days, less than 3 weeks now, they are calling for election, and there is this violence. We are talking of sovereignty. Is it not time to say, now this thing is not working, and even this election, we are not sure where it's going to lead us. We're not even sure whether the election is going to take place.
You know what? I want both of us to analyze the position of Council for Foreign Relations. They sent me a conversation, I'll call it, or a narrative on their viewpoint on Nigeria and democracy, which I believe both of us disagree. I will look at my email and send it to you. Actually, I wanted to reply them that they cannot decide the fate of our people for us.
Not at all.
Their viewpoint, I hinted about this particular. Their viewpoint is personal to them. It does not address the interest of our people.
As it benefits the
international community.
Yeah, not as it benefits.
They are looking at it as if Nigeria has an element of democracy when it doesn't. If it does, why did the ambassador of Great Britain, America, and many other top thing avoid attending the 2019 inauguration of Buhari? You see, it just shows that the country is already dead.
I saw recently. Now we're seeing this violence. I saw in some videos. I saw in some videos where the U.S. Army were singing for Nigerians, and they were dancing. And in my own take, it feels they are trying to prepare. They are foreseeing that there's going to be there's trouble. There's going to be fire on the mountain.
In fact, the military. I have a research report by a military college in America about Lugard and this thing. I don't know if I sent this. I have the folder of it that I printed out. I showed it in the last meeting of the development group, that if we do a blueprint that way, they had analyzed at some point that between 2015 and 2030, there will not be any country called Nigeria. They gave us justice. But should we as Yorubas wait for that time? No.
Exactly.
That's why I've always been calling for us to make a powerful international press conference addressing the whole world that the time is ripe for the dissolution of that place.
The time is right. In September last
year, each area will now start to develop according to their pace, a religion, and their vision, which is the same thing I told Adebayo. Most Northerners know about this statement I'm saying, because they were told that the man in London in year 2000 had warned about the future of that place.
Yeah, no, we all know that Nigeria, not even at some point, Nigeria at this point now is on the downhill to disintegration. It's on the downhill to disintegration. And any moment from now, my prayer is that it follows a particular. I want it to follow a good path,
Yeah.
or a
To reduce
constructive path to
mayhem and bloodshed.
disintegration, so that A, it saves a lot of lives. B, there's not too much disruption. C, that we can then build. Now, what I'm saying now is that as Yoruba leaders, I believe we need to step up now and give our people a lot of information and assurances that the currency, don't panic to go and put it in the bank. Don't panic to take your money to the bank. A Yoruba currency would be used, a Yoruba currency would be designed, a Yoruba currency would be brought to the market, and you can exchange it peacefully without hurting yourself. Because we see a lot of people who goes to bank and they are fighting.
Yeah. Some of them lose the money they have taken to bank to exchange. That's not, in fact, it's a deliberate act. You see, when we say deliberate act, that deliberate act has started right from 1950s.
Yeah.
They gradually started.
There's so many videos. There's a woman that's gone topless, which I'm not going to show for her decency and her dignity. I mean, it's sad. It's sad.
Completely topless. The one I saw was still with a bra.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, she was just putting on bra and things, and we look at it, and with all our education, with all our sophistication, with all our a Nigerian, Kemi Badenoch, is the international trade secretary to the United Kingdom.
Yeah,
this is the 6th largest economy in the world. In Nigeria, Wale Adeyemo is a top
advisor in the America.
Advisor in the President Biden's
State Department.
Yeah, and then we've got what's these guys in Bristol? I've forgotten his name. Who is the highest paid robotics engineer in the world? Silas Adekunle in Bristol. He's the highest paid robotics engineer in the world. You see a people that have done great things for the international community, and then back home we just to print. And let me bring this. A lot of people do not understand the history and the story of money in the last 120 years in Nigeria. Now, when Lugard came, as far back as 1914, there was nothing like currency in Nigeria. We were spending shinap as our currency. Some people were spending horseshoes as currency. And some people were spending
cows
as currency. So what Lugard did was ask the treasury to give them British shillings in those days, which they started using for payments. And that was what they used in collecting the government from our fathers to the British. Because then people can work and get money. So when you work, and I look at what people were paid as far back as 1914. As at that time, people were paid £300 per year, which is about 25 pounds per month. If you convert that money to today's money, that's about 30-something thousand. Let's just even say £30,000 per annum. how much is the average, let me not say average, how much is the minimum wage? 30,000, which is less than 50 pounds.
Whereas it should be by now around 30,000 pounds.
Yeah, which should be
value.
around 30,000 pounds. And our people are earning less than 50 pounds per month. So, for me, I believe
our economy has not grown.
No, it's not that it's not grown. There's no economy. It's been destroyed.
So
this is the opportunity now for us to create our own Yoruba currency, which we can spend. If people are scared that you don't have the physical currency, Bitcoin, I don't even see anywhere anybody has a Bitcoin. Some people do, but everything is now mobile. Everything is now digital. Then we can create our economy that is insulated.
Digital economy, yeah.
That is insulated from the Nigerian destructive economy.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we can create enough goodwill, enough productivity in our land. Because if the North can be spending CFA, if the North can be spending dollars, if the North can be spending pounds, some of them are still spending the old Naira that our people are killing themselves for. And some of them have
the old Naira.
Even the old, yes, that's what I'm saying. Even the old Naira is still being spent in the North.
In circulation in the North.
Yeah. So I believe we need to put our act together and start spending our Yoruba currency, whatever name they want to give it. This is the time for us to see that there is no more Nigeria. Because, I mean, if we do it, we can put it on the decentralized chain.
Yeah.
Put it on the blockchain and then start spending it.
I think we have to get some financial experts and technical experts to draw the modality for this urgently.
So we need to do it urgently. We need to do it urgently. I know a lot of people who have started the design of our currency. So I believe
let's bring all of them together so that we have
this is the time to bring them together.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is the time to bring them together. The technology is there. The technology is built.
I know Victor Taiwo had designed some currency many years back, way back in the 1990s. Yeah. With him and all others coming together, this is the time of gravitating towards each other.
My message tonight will go to our leaders who are back home. Do not wait for those of us in the diaspora to direct you. We would guide you, but this is the time. This is the time for them to come together and rise up in unison and make a definitive statement that this is where we would go. Yoruba land.
And this is where we stopped so far. We've supported this country for too long.
Yeah.
In 1906, I said, we've been spending about 25,000 pounds in the north from the south.
Exactly. So Biafran dollar, they have their own dollar now, which they've had before. So they have said they would use we could say we want to use Yoruba pound or Yoruba
currency
or Yoruba Dua or whatever.
Yoruba you can call it.
Or just even call it Yoruba.
Yeah. That's simple. Everybody will understand that.
Yeah. So when you go to the market, when you go to my grandmother in the village, you can say, "Mommy, Owo Yoruba." They understand it. I just say, "Yoruba A lot of our people are techie. They have mobiles and they can transfer.
Yeah.
Even in Naira, I was telling somebody I've spent. I mean, I can't mention, but I've spent millions of Naira. But I don't touch the Naira. But a lot of people back home rely on this physical cash to be able to carry out their transaction. When they want to do it, you charge them.
Yeah.
Which is cynical. When they take money from their account, you charge them. When they don't take money from their account, you charge them.
You still charge them. The banking system is so wrong. Yeah, they say the Nigerian banking system is one of the best in the world. It is not. it's a subversive system.
Yeah.
It subverts the
On the
ability of the people.
decentralized chain, when you transact within the platform, it doesn't cost you any money.
No.
It's only when you transact out of the platform. But in Nigeria, once your money is sitting in the bank, they will be telling at the end of the day, your money is being deducted. So for me, I don't know what anybody say, but I believe it is time for us to start getting our act together.
Yeah, I would say now, as we are talking, we should reach out to all those who have been designing our currency to all come together. It's not about the Miloshi.
No.
We should all come together and look at the modality of putting value to the money we are designing. Right from 1 kobo or one from Owo Eyokon. That's Owo Eyokon, Owo Meji, Meta, Mẹ́rin, Mẹ́wàá.
And we will promote it. And we will send our people to the villages, to the markets, to everywhere, and tell them that in the next 2-3 months, I want to see us having our Yoruba currency, and we will promote it on this platform and on all media platforms to see that our people see value. I have said
in what they have worked for.
Yeah,
they've worked for it.
Yeah,
we should not deny our people.
So once we have the money, we don't rely on Abuja. What Abuja is giving us is nothing other than poverty.
Look at the way they deliberately made sure there's no electricity in the south. You know, there's a video I made under this man, Ade Thomas, this heritage. I made some very powerful video on electricity, waterways, construction roads, and all that. This is the time for our people to go on YouTube and look again into it. I've said so much about what we can do to revive it, and which you also have published something about some time ago when we both collaborated in writing.
We will come to the Naira issue, but there's a video I want to play here, and we can talk about it.
Okay.
It's traffic. It's traffic because there's no fuel in the country as well.
Yeah.
And so there's no fuel and there's no money. But outside of that, Nigeria, I don't know. Well, I'll say Lagos. The traffic is crazy. That sometimes when people are doing wrong things, they don't know. I have photos and videos that I have taken myself personally on different roads. But Nigeria is a country. This video makes me feel like it is the direction Nigeria is traveling. So you see a driver that is taking reverse on a 60-mile road to his destination. And it feels like that's how Nigeria is traveling. I'm just going to play the video so that we see.
Sometimes I feel like being stuck in Lagos traffic can make you question your sanity. It's like everybody's mad and I'm watching real life Netflix. Cause when I look to the other side and I see people doing crazy stuff like it's normal, I will now be thinking if I'm actually mad for being patient and sitting in this traffic. Cause how will a normal person drive reverse from Chevron toll gate to Aja? And the passengers will be shouting, driver, fire down, your head stay there. Plus Okada riders behave as if they are ready to die, like they have 9 lives. Are you people mad? Then I asked myself if I should come down from this Uber to take Okada. But no, my village people can be on this express today. Make I just sit down jejely. I come in peace.
Desperation.
For me, it feels like that's the direction Nigeria is traveling. So they're traveling
they forgot the direction they were traveling all along. So they just remembered it's backwards. You know, when I said they forgot, right from independence, we've been traveling backwards. That's the expression. Because I said many years back, and in some of my take, that Nigeria died in 1962 when Awolowo was in prison, one of the major architects of the so-called independence. was hurriedly imprisoned over spurious charges of a felony, which the federal government could not prove. They, unfortunately, maybe it's late now. Justice Showoemo said his hands were tied, and therefore he has to sentence Awolowo to prison. How will a justice say his hands are tied? What is the justice in that kind of statement? My hands are tied. And some years later, in the 1990s, he said if the case came again, I will still sentence Awolowo to prison. He forgot that he said his hands were tied. You know, he was playing the game of ameliorating his masters, the Fulani oligarchy.
Exactly.
That we allow them to continue.
And we continue to allow because we are
not that they had the capacity to, but we allowed it. And we sometimes betray our people who are trying to prevent the allowance. It's
so unfortunate. I mean, if there's any take home from here, we need to build a society. We could go on and on. There are no good houses.
We need to build.
There are no
an informed society to understand we don't need Nigeria to survive.
I was listening, even in when they say this is in the exclusive list, non-exclusive list. I was listening to the former governor of California on the radio yesterday, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he said he was trying to tackle climate change. And they told him it's not something he could do in California because it's just like the Nigeria, it's an exclusive list. And he took the government to court based on it to challenge them. And he won the case just to make his own zone a free zone because they say you can't do it for just California. He did it, and he was fighting for a green space where they went into deliberation. We see this case of Nigeria where it took the Rivers State governor, Wike, to take the federal government to court to say VAT does not belong to you. It belongs to the state. Why are you collecting VAT? That was when the eyes of many states governors were now open that not everything belongs to the federal government. Is it that the governors are being lazy, and because of their laziness, they are being docile and scared of the federal government?
No, the point is that they don't have a team of researchers who look into what is called governance. There's something that I discovered that our people have not looked into when they said the railway is under the national railway, it's under the exclusive list. Regional railway is not under the exclusive list. And yet we are still tied down for not trying to promote railway construction in our various regions. When the Odua investment about 40 years ago tried to do it, the federal government says railway construction is under exclusive list. But when they say railway construction, it is national railway that is the one connecting one state to the other, not the regional railway. So the Odua investment should have taken the government to court and even to international arbitration to say, look, we want to develop our region. We are leaving national railway to in fact, like the roads, there are some national roads in the states, which the federal government is supposed to take care of. But unfortunately, they don't. So the regions try to maintain them and the regions don't get paid. There are so many things wrong. It looks like our leadership or the people who are put in position of power do not understand their responsibility to the people. That's what I would say.
And unfortunately, we don't have much time to dissect it, but we will be here, God willing, again next week at 7, hopefully. Today we've come early. And if there are any...
I'm sorry, a lot of people were calling me international and they interrupted, and I kept on saying, I'm going on a program. They said, hey, you know, come on, Yoruba. In fact, another one just called me and I ignored it. because I'll call him after we finish this program.
No
and
problem.
I don't know if the diplomatic directorate will be meeting tonight. I will check.
Yeah, they will be meeting. So that's the much we can take, unfortunately, but there will still be time to discuss.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me once more, and thank you for those listening to us. And I hope we have been able to.
I especially want to thank Mr. Fatai Ayilara for your comments. We really appreciate them. So one of the comments is we need internal peace and unity and take this window of opportunity very seriously. We are talking about creating our own currency. Is it all strategies you've been working on must manifest to help us? Please, we need intervention. Many people need freedom and liberation, but they are not ready to ask for it, let alone fight for it. And that's true. People are just being docile, are looking and waiting and saying,
as if it's
today I was in church and the minister was saying, do not say there's somebody who can say, what can I do? And I like this concluding statement from Mr. Fatai Ayilara. It says, Nigerians are pre-installed with special behavioral patterns that are unexplainably wrong. So if Nigerians are the only one, you will take a knife and put in their neck and kill them, and they will still tell you thank you. So I don't know, but I know somehow God is going to deliver our people. But when God is delivering our people, we should be ready to take and play our own parts, not just sit down and waiting and saying,
expect God to deliver us.
God will save us. I heard a lot of preachers praying and say, God, come and deliver us. Yes, God has delivered us. God has delivered the children of Israel. He took them out of Egypt and put them in the wilderness. He said, that is the land, go and take it. They were still waiting for God, and for 40 years, they remained on the wilderness. When they were ready to go and take the land and progress, they went by themselves, and God was still with them. God never left them before. God is with us now. He has given us the opportunity now to get out of Nigeria. If we like, we take the opportunity to come out. If we like, we continue to wait for God. God, come and push us out of Nigeria. God has done it. We need now to remove that unexplainably wrong attitude and mentality from our brain. This is the time to know that Yoruba, we have the right to create our own currency and start using, and
we have the right to claim our sovereignty back.
Exactly, we have the right to claim our sovereignty. Until we come your way again next week, I remain your humble host, Kayode Emola. Thank you.
Thank
you. lọ́jọ́kọ́jọ́ làbẹ̀wò kúkú dùkú lóko Podium International wọ́n ti wà tipẹ́tipẹ́ látìgbà tí wọ́n ti ń bàbọ̀ wọn ò fìgbà kan tẹ́rì o wọ́n ti wá ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀ wọ́n ti gbé bẹ̀bẹ̀ dé Podium Cinema ni wọ́n tún gbé dé Podium Cinema lórí YouTube ẹ fọ́lọ̀ wọn kẹ́ ẹ láìkì wọn kẹ́ ẹ subscribe ibẹ̀ lẹ́tì mọ̀ wọ àwọn àjá àbálẹ̀ fíìmù ẹ̀dọ̀kí fíìmù tó léfò gan tààrà Podium Cinema mo bẹ́rí fún yín fíìmù 9 ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni wọ́n kó jáde o àwọn gbàǹkọ́gbé fíìmù èkíní májẹ̀mú ẹ̀gbọ́n èkejì my wet ẹ̀kẹta ọmọ ẹni ẹ̀kẹrin àlàmú èkó ẹ̀karùn-ún àìmọ̀ ṣẹ̀wárí pé nǹkan kì í ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ràgbó ó kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ eléyìí lẹ́tìkẹjù èdè Yorùbá ni wọ́n fi ṣe àwọn fíìmù yìí ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹfà sẹ́ẹ̀kẹsàn-án èdè òyìnbó ni wọ́n kọ ẹ̀kẹfà tẹ́mà èkeje the casting ẹ̀kẹjọ M1 the detective ẹ̀kẹsàn 100 M1 the detective at 100 orí síríìsì lẹ́fì máa wò ó ìyẹn dàgbéléwò nìyẹn Podium International Podium Cinema ẹ fọ́lọ̀ wọn kẹ́ ẹ láìkì wọn lórí YouTube wọ́n wà lórí Facebook wọ́n wà lórí Instagram Podium Cinema ó ti dọbẹ̀ ẹ subscribe.